Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to the GM. I'm your guy, Leon Boulanger. And in this short video, we're going to talk about the Brooklyn Nets Utah Jazz matchup from last night. Well, Brooklyn finally got a much needed win after a 4-game slide. Um, and this was directly on the back of Kyrie Irving. He put the whole team on his back and balled out basically the entire game. I wasn't sure what Kyrie would look like coming into this game after playing heavy minutes against Phoenix the night before and playing late into the fourth quarter in order to try and pull that win out. But they came up short, but Kyrie came up big in this game, hitting timely threes, taking over in the fourth quarter. In fact, he had 20 points last night in the fourth quarter, excuse me, and then he also had 20 points Thursday night in the fourth quarter, which shows his ability to be clutch. In fact, I believe Kyrie, from what I remember, is the leading scorer in the fourth quarter this year, and so um, his back-to-back performances in fourth quarters proved that he is a valuable commodity to the Brooklyn Nets. Um, and so, I believe Kyrie finished with 48, 11, 5 or 6 assists, which really shows a big game offensively, but a well-rounded game, pulling down defensive rebounds and also dishing out some helpers to some other players. Um, as we look around the starting lineup, Nick Claxton finished with a double-double, I believe. No, I think he had between 18 and 20 points. This is off memory from looking at the box score late last night in the fourth quarter. But of course, he was big defensively, had some timely blocks in the fourth quarter, just like he always does. Nick Claxton is certainly the anchor of this defense, and I'm not 100% sure where Brooklyn would be without him. Uh, but his offensive game is coming along, um, and we'll talk about development and things like that in another video. But he is certainly developing, and he's a major part of this Brooklyn Nets team. Let's see, Ben Simmons. Not much from Ben Simmons, specifically offensively. Ben Simmons did play some really good defense, but his offensive impact is very very minimal. Right? If he's not going to score but 6 or 7 points, he needs 8 to 10 assists per night. We didn't get that last night from Ben. Uh, no sign of injury that was reported, and so he seems like he just had a difficult offensive night. Um, seemed to be semi-aggressive early, but then that kind of faded as the game went on. So not much from Ben Simmons. Royce O'Neal hit some big shots early, but then just played tough defense the rest of the game. I think he only hit one shot in the second half. But yet and still, we don't expect an offensive explosion from Royce O'Neal. We do expect solid defense, rebounding, and a couple of assists really to happen per night. Let me see who else was in the starting lineup. Um, Seems like I remember Joe Harris being in the starting lineup, but I don't remember much from Joe Harris, which means another ineffective night from Joe. Although he got off early Thursday night, but don't remember much from Joe Harris. Nothing really stood out from that game last night. When we go to the bench, of course, you got TJ Warren. Not much for him, not even many minutes for TJ. Cam Thomas, who seemed to get it going Thursday night, didn't see much from him last night, not even a lot of minutes. Nothing much from Edmund Sumner. Um, Seth Curry, not a lot from Seth Curry either, although he did hit a couple of big shots down the stretch to kind of keep Brooklyn ahead 5 to 6 points. But still, a lot of inconsistency from Seth Curry as of late. Well, really kind of inconsistency all year from Seth Curry. Not sure if he's still working his way back into health. Not sure if he's trying to find his role because the rotations have been so inconsistent, mixing and matching. Some part of injury, and then of course, Kyrie was out earlier this year. Utah, who was kind of the unsung hero of sorts earlier this season, knocking down timely threes, defense, athleticism is what we talked about Utah. But as of late, Yuta has had minimum impact. In fact, Yuta has done more for the other team than he has for the Brooklyn Nets, consistently fouling players while they're shooting and putting them at the line. In fact, that's been a problem for Brooklyn all year long. Even maybe as big or bigger than the lack of rebounding, it's been Brooklyn's consistent fouling when other players are shooting and putting them at the line to score points when the clock is stopped. And so I think that with our length, especially with the bigs, Claxton, Durant, Ben, TJ Warren is pretty long. Yuta is 6'7", 6'8". Joe Harris is 6'6". So with that kind of length, we should be able to defend and move our feet without getting up into the shooter. But we haven't figured that out all year. And if we don't figure it out down the stretch, that's going to plague us in the playoffs. But excuse me. But as it pertains to last night, it was a tough fought win. I was really, really glad to see Brooklyn stand up and pull it out for sure. Because my concern was that Jordan Clarkson, being a guy who can get buckets, um, our guards haven't shown an ability to really stand up and defend against guards who can score, right? And we know Jordan Clarkson has been a guy known, just for getting points on a consistent basis. And then Laurie Marketing. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but anyway, we know who we're talking about. He's been able to kind of have a rebirth in Utah uh, this year, and we know that we've seen him go crazy a couple of nights and be above the 30-point mark. So those are my concerns, that those two guys will get hot, and then you mix in Mike Conley off the bench. I was really afraid that we wouldn't be able to stand that barrage of points because our bench has been so inconsistent, and then with coming off a game from Thursday night, and so having a back to back, I didn't know if our energy level would be on point. But again, Brooklyn pulled out the win, and now it's on to Golden State. You'll get my take on the Golden State game coming up later today. But for right now, good win, Brooklyn. Um, Thank you guys for showing some heart, some grit, some determination, and just being consistent defensively. So listen, I'm your guy, Leon Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.